Hello and welcome to round 17 of NEAFL TV. The second week in a row we had a split round. There were 5 games on this weekend. Let's start in Brisbane with the Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns. The Gold Coast Suns entered this game still without a win in 2014, but after James Polkinghorne's opener for the Lions, the Suns kicked 3 on the trot. When former Broadbeach star Andrew Boston, making his comeback from injury, kicked 2 goals within 6 minutes, the Suns had skipped out to a 22-point lead approaching quarter time. But Brisbane big man Jordan Lyle wasn't going to let his side slip too far behind, kicking 2 majors in the space of 10 minutes to cut the lead. When Marco Paparone, who was brilliant all day after being dropped last week, kicked a goal midway through the second term, the Lions had got back the ascendancy. But Kieran Brennan put the Suns back in front in a seesawing contest, and they kicked the opener of the third quarter as well. But again, Lyle stepped up. The former Hawthorn marksman kicked 3 goals in the third term to spearhead his side to an 11-point three-quarter time lead. Gold Coast needed a fast start to get themselves back into the game in the fourth term, but as it happened, that didn't eventuate. The Suns didn't kick their first major until the 24-minute mark. That was too little, too late, and eventually the Gold Coast fell by 12 points. Staying in the Sunshine State for a battle between Aspley and Redlands. This battle between 4th and 5th was eagerly anticipated, especially considering these sides have played twice this year, and though Aspley have won both games, the average winning margin has been just 10 points, and this match started very closely, with the sides trading goals during a very tight first quarter. In perfect conditions at Graham Road, the Hornets held a slender 1-point lead at quarter time, courtesy of a 5-2 to 5-1 opening term. But after then, the game was absolutely broken wide open as the Hornets kicked 9 goals to 2 to take control. Former North Melbourne livewire Eddie Sainsbury has been brilliant in front of the Big Six all year for the Hornets and in the NEAFL's representative side, but he's never played a game quite like this. Sainsbury was absolutely on fire. The best player on the ground, he finished with 9 majors on the day. Not to be outdone, former Southport spearhead Cleve Hughes kicked another 6 goals for Redland to keep this game tight, but that second quarter proved costly for the Bombers and they could never bridge the margin. Matt Payne was again outstanding. He will have stretched his lead at the top of the standings ahead of Ainsley's Aaron Vandenberg, and John Blair's men, the Hornets, they kept alive their hopes of a top 3 finish, eventually running out 19-8, 122 to 15-6, 96 winners. Now to Dairy Farmers Park in Canberra, Queanbeyan taking on Eastlake. Playing at home under blue skies in front of a raucous home crowd in club stalwart Will Griggs' 100th game, Queanbeyan had a lot to play for, and it showed as the Tigers got on top early. A little quiet so far in 2014, Andrew Swan up forward was clunking absolutely everything that came his way and converting in front of the big sticks as well. Swans spearheaded his side to a massive 47-point quarter-time lead, and this game was pretty much over as a contest from that point forward. With Ben Fruand reprising some of his brilliant early season form for the Tigers, they were well and truly on top, holding a 10-goal lead at half-time. To their credit, Eastlake didn't lie down, kicking 5 goals to 1 in the third term, led by big man Chad Gibson, who was brilliant up forward. He finished with 6 goals to be the Demons' best player. But just as Eastlake looked like they'd cut this margin and keep it respectable, Queanbeyan lifted another gear in the fourth term. The Tigers kicked 6 goals to 2, Swan kicked 4, Fruand finished with 4 as well, Bryce bagged 3, and Queanbeyan ran out 2013 133 to 11-6, 72 winners. Up to the top end on Saturday night, the NT Thunder hosted Sydney Swans. With both these sides having a raft of scoring specialists, including NT Thunder's dual spearheads Chris Dunn and Darren Ewing, one would have thought this game would be a bit of a shootout heading in, but remarkably, the first quarter was anything but. NT kicked 5 behinds and no goals, the Swans kicked 6 behinds and no goals, and it was 6-5 at quarter time. He may have waited more than a quarter to do it, but with fans getting a little restless, Darren Ewing gave them something to cheer about.
500 maybe.
500.
He kicked with his right foot.
Yes,
He
it
kicked
is.
with his right.
The Thunder, unbeaten at TIO Stadium in Darwin this year, kicked 3 goals to none in that second term, but the lead was still a manageable 15 points at half-time. Boof finished with 5 majors for the game, and the Thunder kicked 5 majors in that third term to skip out to a 36-point lead at three-quarter time. Frustratingly for coach Jared Crouch, the men in red and white saved by far their best football for the game until the last quarter, when the result was beyond doubt. The Swans won the last term, kicking 6 goals to 5, but it wasn't enough. Led by captain Cameron Eilert, the Thunder got another win in Darwin, 13-14, 92 to 8-11, 59. Finishing off round 17 on Sunday afternoon, Sydney University hosted Belconnen. There were beautiful blue skies at Drummoyne Oval for this game, though the middle of the ground was a quagmire, but it didn't seem to faze Belconnen, who started strongly.
So a lovely shot on goal there from Belconnen, and just like that, on cue, Blair, as you predicted it.
With the Magpies' fast start invoking memories of their upset win over the Students earlier in the year in Canberra, Daniel Gilmore's men responded.
Ayton looking to strike back for Uni. It looks like a good kick. He likes it. And there's Sydney Uni's first goal for the afternoon. Tom Ayton kicks truly.
Having only played a handful of NEAFL games entering this match, youngster James Howard had showed glimpses of his undoubted potential, but in this game, he came of age.
Brilliant goal. That's his 6th. James Howard!
Using his blistering pace and surprising ability to play well above his stature, Howard was stationed from the goal square for much of the day, and he marked strongly and was very clever one-on-one, finishing with a phenomenal 7 goals.
That's his 7th, James Howard, like a thief in the night, smooth criminal, whatever you want to call him.
The Students' leading goal kicker this year, Jacob Derricks, was a perfect big-bodied foil to Howard, throwing his weight around and finishing with 4 goals of his own. But there was another real star for the Students in former St Kilda livewire, Nicholas Winmar.
And drills it!
Though Belconnen sparked a mini fight back in the second term, cutting the margin to just 9 points, you always got the sense the Students had this one in control, and so it proved in the third term as they kicked a match-defining 8 goals to 3. That stretched the margin out to close to 50 points at three-quarter time, and in resolute skipper Tim Barton's 100th game, that was always going to be enough for Sydney University. The last quarter was close, but Chris York's best efforts weren't enough to get Belconnen over the line. He finished with 4 goals, but the Students were too strong, 23-13, 151 to 14-10, 94. To the ladder, and it's the Giants out in front ahead of the Thunder, Swans, Aspley, Redland and Ainslie. Then at Southport, Sydney University, Sydney Hills Eagles, Brisbane Lions, Belconnen, Queanbeyan, Eastlake and the Gold Coast Suns. To round 18, and it's back to a full complement of games. The Swans host the Lions, then it's Ainslie and Sydney University, the Giants and Hills Eagles, Redland takes on Queanbeyan, Southport and MT Thunder, Eastlake and Belconnen, and finishing off with the Gold Coast Suns and Aspley. That's all we've got for round 17 of NEAFL TV. Don't forget, during the week, stay up to date, check the app, check the website. I'm Stephen Canavan. See you next time.